And that's what usually just blows my mind, how amazing the teachings are. You can take some of my outcome. I want them to experience inner peace, stillness, blissing out. So I first have to diagnose it before I give them an answer. Otherwise, you could be answering the wrong thing. The first thing they have to do is stop trying. It's not putting something in, it's getting rid of stuff.
Master Code, thank you for taking time out to have a quick chat with us, first of all.
Thank you, David. Thank you. Thank you. It's a pleasure.
So you've been traveling around the world, literally. I think I've lost track of the posts and the streams of where you've been over the last number of months, particularly with, say, Tony Robbins and the business world that Tony's involved in. How can a person integrate spiritual practice into the modern lifestyle, particularly around integrating with family, with maybe professional career, and even finances?
Well, what people don't realize, everything is governed by energy. And this energy is the fabric of the universe, What we do, what we feel, what we think, it's made of this invisible life force that people call chi in Chinese, prana in Sanskrit, that's what we do called pranic healing. But it goes beyond just knowing that it's energy. It allows us to have more clarity in our minds, calmer emotions, be able to make better decisions. So by using energy properly, you can be more effective at work, you can be more productive, you can have more harmonious home life, you can have more inner peace, you can use that energy to have better health. It affects every part of your life.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing you mentioned there about like calmness, inner stillness or peace, maybe, for example, for people with busy or distracting minds, Master Co, can you give maybe an effective method or maybe some hints or insights of how someone can really practice stillness, say, when they're trying to meditate, for example?
Well, the first thing they have to do is stop trying. That is the biggest problem. Most people are, I want to meditate because I'm stressed out of my mind, so I have to try to meditate. Then, right there and then, you messed it up. Because meditation does not involve your will. Meditation is to back off your will and allow things to come to you. However, for most people, that's difficult because as soon as they don't focus on anything, thoughts and emotions in their field start to their consciousness, crowd and cloud their consciousness. So the first thing you need to do is do some form of emptying it out. You see, in order to have that inner peace, quiet, stillness, it's not putting something in, it's getting rid of stuff. So just imagine you walking around in a bubble, and this bubble is your energy field. Every time you think or feel something positive or negative, or people project it to you, it's sitting in this bubble. So most people walk around in a cloud. So as soon as you try to be calm and be quiet, these thoughts and feelings basically just affect you in every single way. So the first thing you need to do is learn how to flush it out. There are many ways to do it. The simplest way people do it is when they go exercise vigorously. Because as they do exercise vigorously, they have to breathe very quickly. That act of breathing also has a cleansing effect. That's one. Another way to do some emptying it out is to do visualization. So if they close their eyes, they visualize that they're under a beautiful violet light. That violet light has a cleansing effect, like a waterfall violet light going through them. They can do that. They can also focus on their breathing. So what happens is when a person's breathing, or when the person's stressed out, they're breathing very erratically. So as they focus on making the breath more rhythmic, that rhythm forces those thoughts and emotions to calm down. And then from there, as they focus on specific patterns of breathing, they're able to flush all these negative energies out. So there are many ways to do it. It's just a matter of how much time a person is willing to devote to it.
Yeah, that's very interesting. And I think that's one thing people kind of get wrong is it's not putting stuff in, it's taking things out, right? So very, very important. Thanks for sharing that, Master Co. When you travel around the world, you meet a lot of different people. And I'm sure with the Tony Robbins events, you met a lot of kind of mental people, analytical people, financial people, things like this, right? When people are skeptical about energy healing practice and meditation, as someone who was once a skeptic themselves, what advice or what maybe do you use to dispel them beliefs when you're talking to people who are maybe first time trying to dip their toe into this kind of thing?
Well, I first find out what they're looking for because just because they have uh, skepticism doesn't mean that that's the problem. They have to be They're very skeptical of something, right? You say, "Oh, I'm skeptical of energy." The question you ask is why. People don't just become cynical, skeptical just because. There has to be something that's causing it. They could have tried something or it didn't work out when they were going through some difficult time. Somebody taught them how to meditate to have it. It didn't work out, so or they had a bad experience. So that's why they basically made a conclusion out of it. So first I find out what is it. Then after they tell me, oh, I tried this, it didn't work. Then I ask them, what did you do? Well, I tried closing my eyes and being quiet. It didn't work. Well, that's because you did it wrong. So I first have to diagnose it before I give them an answer. Otherwise, you could be answering the wrong thing. So I just usually ask them, okay, what is the cause of it? And then from then I offer them a solution. I go through step by step. So it depends on what they're going through. I have a toolbox. I can say, okay, you can use breathing exercise, you can do chanting, you can do visualization, you can have a walk in nature. There's no one answer for everything because it depends on what is it they're skeptical about or what their critical mind is fighting against.
Mm. Yeah, that's very true, Master Co. Would you say a lot of it is fear from people, the unknown, right? Because they don't know what to expect, or maybe it's a fear of letting go or being vulnerable, maybe sometimes.
Well, a lot of times it's because, as you said, the fear of the unknown. So when a person is really convinced that it's not going to work, I just let them be.
Mm.
Because it's one of the harder you push, the harder they push back.
Yeah,
So when they say, "Oh, I don't believe in that stuff," I go, "Okay, that's fine. You know where to reach me." At
yeah,
that point, they change their mind.
yeah. No,
See, a lot of times they're trying to convince you it's not going to work. So the harder you try to convince them, the harder they push. When you say, "Ah, whatever," you walk away, then they're interested.
okay.
That's what I do
Reverse
because
psychology.
I'm trying to help them, right? If they're
Yeah,
going to resist it, don't waste my time.
yeah,
And then they realize, oh, okay, this person does not have a vested interest. They actually want to help me. Then they become more open,
yeah. That
especially with business people.
yeah, that makes a lot of sense. They
They
don't
think
like
it's a
talking about what to
negotiation. They
do.
go, I'm not trying to negotiate. You're come to me asking for help to get better. Well, I'm not trying to convince you. You have to convince me. You want me to help you. So be receptive. If you're not, go find somebody else. At
Yeah,
that point, you go, okay, now I'm open. Now I talk.
yeah. That's a really good approach, Master Co. Yeah, definitely.
When you're dealing with achievers, that's how they work.
Mm. Yeah, it has to be their idea, right?
Yeah, and there has to be something like, hey, you're interested in it. We're talking as equals.
Yeah.
So if you're interested, you have to show me that you're interested. Not because I'm trying to convince you this works. You have to convince me you want to be helped.
Mhm.
That's it.
Yeah. Well, I remember it was actually about a year ago, Masterco, you came to Amazon in Dublin when you done a brief stop. And I think we had, I don't know, it was maybe 60, 70 people plus in the room. Most of those were very, very skeptical, right? Beforehand, and we had many people online at the event. Afterwards, every person in that room was blown away by what they felt, right? What they experienced. And even I'd say 90% was the first time to actually meditate. And they felt stillness, calmness, peace, whatever the experience was. And the key thing that I took away from that was it's not that you were trying to tell them anything or make them do any strange techniques. It's how you made them feel or how they felt afterwards that really stayed with them.
Yes, that's why if you remember, one of the things I asked him is, why are you here?
Hmm.
The person has to be motivated to get better.
Yeah.
If they're not motivated to get there, they're talking to you. It's just chit chat and it doesn't do anything because they don't have an outcome.
Yeah.
But if their outcome is, hey, my outcome is to have more inner peace, I want to have more clarity, I want to be more productive because I can think clearly. Okay, then if they have the outcome, easier for them to really focus on what you're trying to share with them and they will practice it. Because if they don't have an outcome, they're just sitting there for the sake of being there, nothing's gonna happen.
Yeah, yeah, and that's true, Master Co. They keep asking when you're coming back, so hopefully we can circle back on that later on. But they're looking for you back there. How have individuals in the Tony's world integrated, say, pranic healing into their lives, right? I know a lot of the people who've come from Tony Robbins over the years, the numbers have increased who've taken, say, pranic healing, or they've been involved in your healers mastery events and so on. But from talking to them, how have they integrated the actual pranic healing techniques and so on into their daily lives?
It's first through meditation, quieting their mind. You have to realize these people, a lot of them are overachievers.
Yeah,
They're always looking for a better outcome, better business, better relationship, better this, better that. So to come across and talk to them about healing right away, a lot of them cannot compute. But if you start sharing with them, look, first of all, you need to have clarity of mind. Everybody wants clarity because without clarity, you cannot make good decisions in anything. So usually it starts with meditation. They learn to meditate, they set aside time to meditate, and then you hear people like Ray Dalio, a lot of these great, very powerful, very successful people devote time every day to meditate, then at least their mind is more open. Once they learn how to meditate, then we try to explain to them. Meditation is simply using this energy to calm your mind, calm your emotions, give you clarity. It can also be used to accelerate your body's ability to heal itself, accelerate your ability to relieve stress, to make your body healthier. Then we bridge it over to healing.
yeah. So meditation is like the gateway to the experience, then to breaking them barriers down for them to really maybe validate this for themselves.
Yeah, because people say, there's this concept like, hey, I'm not a healer. I'm a businessman. I'm a, housewife. I'm this, I'm that. They label themselves, so they end up what I call it, segregating the entire teaching into just healing and spiritual practice. But in reality, it's all manipulation of energy. So
Yeah,
we have to kind of open that door a little bit. Oh, meditation. Then as they learn meditation, they go, when you breathe in, you're harnessing energy. You can also use this. And so from there, then they start to realize healing is not just healing, I think, fixing the body. It's actually healing your mind, your emotions, your career, your relationships, even your finances.
yeah. That's 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 really well said, Master Co. Would you think that when people who've been studying Tony Robbins or practicing or working alongside Tony for many years, when they take, say, pranic healing or study some meditation, it's like an extra key that unlocks a certain level of what they can achieve further?
Yes, they're always looking for things to make things better. And one thing about Tony is he wants people to keep pushing the envelope.
Yeah,
Keep pushing and pushing to, find a better way, more efficient way. And so once they learn that energy affects everything, the one who really understood it, they end up taking Healer's Mastery, then they take Kriya Shakti, they take Arhatic, because they realize now that I have that, fabric of the universe that I can use for every part of my life, understand it, know the mechanism, the principles behind it, and the applications, then they're all in.
yeah. Wow. I do have to ask, Master Co. What is the experience like of teaching thousands of people? Like I've seen maybe 10, 15, 20, I don't know, 20,000 in an arena looking, doing twin hearts at one hit. Number one, what's it feel like facilitating that, right? On behalf of the teacher? And then what's the feel like energetically within the room?
You're asking the wrong person. I'm not sensitive.
Yeah.
I just go on stage, I have my outcome. I want them to experience inner peace, stillness, blissing out, happy, fulfilled. That's my outcome. If I feel anything, I say, okay, I feel good, I've accomplished my job and I get off stage.
Wow.
So
Wow.
that's it. It feels good to be able to touch people's lives. Uh, if there's anything that I could say that is really gratifying is imagine you have 10, 15,000 people jumping around, screaming, yelling, yeah, affirmations. And then during meditation, literally you can hear a pin drop.
Mm.
As in the entire stadium is silent.
Wow.
And you see people who are jumping around suddenly for about at least 2 to 3 minutes, just completely still. And that's what usually just blows my mind how amazing the teachings are that you can take someone going through so much energy, physical, emotional, mental, and just make it super still in less than 2 minutes.
Wow. That's amazing. Um, what's the feedback from people when they first experience that? Because I'm guessing a lot of these folks who attend, it's their first time to maybe experience anything like that, but the experience with thousands of people instantaneously or simultaneously. What's the feedback from the guys?
No, a lot of them they tell me if it's the audience, the number one uh, response we always have is, "Wow, I could never have. I've never meditated before. No, I've meditated before. I've never experienced that much stillness. I never thought I could meditate." Or what else? They could say that they would say, "It's the first time in my life my mind was quiet."
Yeah.
That's usually the main feedback along those lines. They never meditated and they finally can, or they meditated before it didn't work, or they just noticed that for the first time in their life it's quiet. And then, of course, for the staff, everybody's blown away because they feel like, not just the audience, but everybody, even who are participating or helping the group, they do the meditation too. So literally the entire building is meditating. So,
Wow. That's impressive. That's crazy. One thing just that struck me as well, with say the Tony Robbins guys, a lot of them are achievers, as you said, right? So they like to manifest things. So, they follow power of intention and all these different things. Um, with using the pranic healing techniques, that only intensifies then. I think you mentioned Kriya Shakti earlier on, right? So when these guys then understand the energy principle of the materialization aspect, right? Does obviously it's going to enhance it for them. Have the guys who have taken the Tony Robbins programs, for example, then done Kriya Shakti? I'd be curious to see what their feedback is around that then.
no, a lot of them that have taken it have given me feedback when I should see them in classes. After Shakti, they said now they understood what they're doing because Tony guides them through in their way of manifestation, materialization, but the energetic aspects of it are not explained.
Yeah,
So they start realizing, oh, this is why it works, and they become even more successful. They do it in their business, they quadruple their business, they improve their relationships, because now they not only go through the motions, they understand why. And when they understand why, one thing they have now that they have more than before is certainty.
yeah,
And when they have certainty, the energy is more focused and has a tendency to produce better results.
yeah. And also, Master Co, if someone wants to materialize or manifest something, right, and say they have thousands of thoughts or emotions and everything's chaotic in their mind, their emotions, their aura, whatever the example, it's a lot harder to be clear on what you want, right? So by the breathing techniques, the meditation, the energetic principles, it only improves that or enhances that manifestation, right?
Well, the way Grandmaster Chokosi taught us is big fish eat small fish. So just imagine you're in the entire ocean, it's a little ocean of thoughts and feelings. The optimistic ones and the pessimistic ones, they're all in there. So what happens is if a person has more pessimistic thoughts and emotions from different parts of their life, that will cloud their consciousness. So even though they want to be positive, they do affirmations, those don't last because they get demolished by the old patterns. That's why people who do New Year's Day resolutions, they don't last that long. Because for one day they want to work out, they want to do this, but for the last next 300, 60 days, they're complaining, they're looking at how bad things are, then that will just simply eat up whatever positive affirmations they did in one day.
Yeah,
So it's still cleansing before energizing.
yeah, makes a lot of sense. Um, I have maybe one or two more questions, Master Co, because I know you're very busy, right? So, if someone is watching this at home, right, and maybe they're watching this for the first time, what advice would you give them about taking, say, pranic healing, right? Even level one pranic healing. What would you say to them people watching?
Well, you won't know until you try it. You cannot make conclusions on something based on something you have not experienced. And what I tell people is, I don't have to convince you. You have to convince you.
Mm.
If you want your life to be better and you don't do anything different, nothing's going to change.
Yeah,
That's it. I just tell them, and people realize that I'm not trying to convince them. They're trying to convince them to find ways to make their life better. And it just so happened we have something that has been practiced by thousands of people. I've seen results with people who are everyday people, all the way to billionaires, use these techniques and their life changed. So what do they have to lose?
yeah,
And usually when I put it that way, they go, okay. But if you sit there and try to convince them, you have to do this, they just feel like, what are you trying to sell me? I'm not trying to sell you anything.
Yeah.
I'm just giving you an opportunity to learn things that you did not have yet, something in your toolbox you didn't have that could open up a new world for you.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. And I've heard you say similar on your anchor to light meditations, right? Where you're just, very straight, like, this is the facts, this is the information you wanted, take it. If not, bye.
Yeah, because most people they think that when you watch somebody trying to convince you, that's probably true. But I know how pranic healing and master choice teachings have impacted my life and the lives of thousands, maybe millions.
Yeah.
So I have certainty. So it's up to you if you want to have that certainty to change your life. If you are, let's talk. If not, then it's not for you.
Um, if I can ask one more question, Master Ko, what would you say is the one lesson that really stuck with you from Master Choa? Well, that he imparted into you that you can share.
No, the biggest lesson I think of everything you've taught me before is character improvement. I think you can have all the techniques in the world, you can have all the skills in the world. If you're a bad person, then you'll do bad things with it.
Hmm.
So I remember one of the things he taught me was like you have to refine your character because as you become a better person, any skills, any techniques you learn can be used for the benefit of all. And without that as a source, as a foundation, then what's the meaning of life?
Yeah, it's a
So
very
that's
valuable
my
lesson.
take on it.
Yeah, thank you. And you live that, Master. You can see that in how you go about what you do. So thank you so much.
Well, we
Um,
try. I mean, everybody makes mistakes. We all screw up now and then. That's why I love the Japanese saying that you fall down 7 times, you get up the eighth time. You try. You're gonna mess up on certain things. You try to do something right. You know, you have moments of weakness. You do stupid things. The question is, everybody has that, but did you get up one more time than the next guy? If you did, that's all you need.
yeah,
Yeah, nobody's asking you to be perfect, but the most important part is the attitude to be better.
yeah. Thank you for sharing that, Master Co. Um, can I ask when can we expect to hopefully get to see you back in Ireland?
Uh, we'll talk about it. To look at how all the schedules work together, and
Yeah,
both in Ireland and my travels all over the world. But we'll discuss it. I
yeah.
can't give you time.
No, that's okay, Master. Thank you so much for taking time to chat with us and I know you have a very busy schedule, so we really do appreciate it.
Oh, my pleasure. Glad to help.